caught my brother's fiancée cheating and got shunned. Years later, everything changed. In this video, we delve into a poignant family conflict that arises from infidelity, exploring the intricate web of loyalty and betrayal. The story centers around Mickey, a young man whose life takes a tumultuous turn when his fiancée, Nah, becomes entangled in a web of deceit. As the narrator, I share my personal experience witnessing the fallout from this situation, which not only affects Mickey and Nah, but also ripples through their families, challenging the very foundations of trust and loyalty that bind them together. The narrative unfolds as we examine the emotional turmoil that ensues when fidelity is compromised, revealing how quickly relationships can fracture under the weight of betrayal. Mickey, who once believed in the sanctity of his engagement, finds himself grappling with feelings of anger, confusion, and heartbreak as he confronts the reality of Nah's infidelity. This conflict serves as a catalyst for deeper discussions about the nature of loyalty within families and the expectations we place on one another. The video aims to engage viewers by prompting them to reflect on their own experiences with trust and loyalty in relationships, encouraging a thoughtful examination of how these dynamics shape our lives. As we navigate through the complexities of Mickey and Nah's relationship, we also highlight the broader implications of their choices on their families, illustrating how infidelity can create rifts that are difficult to mend. The emotional stakes are high, and the consequences of betrayal extend far beyond the individuals directly involved, affecting parents, siblings, and extended family members who are drawn into the conflict. This story serves as a reminder of the fragility of trust and the importance of open communication in maintaining healthy relationships. As we explore the aftermath of Mickey's discovery, we will discuss the various ways families cope with such crises, from seeking therapy to engaging in difficult conversations that can either heal or further divide them. The tone of the video is designed to be both engaging and thought-provoking, inviting viewers to consider their own values surrounding loyalty and fidelity. We aim to foster a dialogue about the complexities of human relationships, emphasizing that while infidelity can lead to devastating consequences, it also presents an opportunity for growth and understanding if approached with honesty and compassion. Ultimately, this video seeks to illuminate the critical role that family dynamics play in shaping our perceptions of trust and loyalty, encouraging viewers to reflect on their own relationships and the values they hold dear. By sharing Mickey and Nah's story, we hope to spark conversations about the importance of fidelity, the challenges of forgiveness, and the resilience of family bonds in the face of adversity. Join us as we navigate this intricate landscape of love, betrayal, and the quest for understanding in the aftermath of infidelity. The evening was meant to be a celebration, a dinner party hosted at Mickey and Nah's cozy apartment, filled with laughter, good food, and the warmth of friendship. The aroma of spices wafted through the air, mingling with the sound of clinking glasses and cheerful chatter. Friends gathered around the dining table, sharing stories and enjoying the vibrant atmosphere, unaware that beneath the surface, a storm was brewing. As the narrator, I had been looking forward to this gathering, eager to see Mickey and Nah together, their love palpable in the way they interacted. However, as the night progressed, I began to sense an undercurrent of tension that seemed to envelop the room. It was during a moment of distraction, while I was helping myself to another serving of the delicious curry Nah had prepared, that I caught sight of something that would forever alter my perception of their relationship. I glanced over to the corner of the room, where Nah was engaged in a hushed conversation with a mutual friend, her laughter ringing out a little too brightly. But it wasn't the laughter that caught my attention. It was the way she leaned in closer, her hand resting on his arm, a gesture that felt far too intimate for mere friends. My heart sank as I watched the scene unfold, a knot tightening in my stomach. The realization hit me like a cold wave. Nah was cheating on Mickey. The emotional turmoil that surged through me was overwhelming. I felt a mix of disbelief, anger, and profound sadness. How could Nah betray Mickey in such a blatant manner, especially in a space that was supposed to be filled with love and trust? My mind raced with thoughts of Mickey, who was blissfully unaware of the betrayal happening just a few feet away. I could picture his face, the joy in his eyes as he laughed with friends, completely oblivious to the reality of the situation. The weight of the moment pressed down on me, and I felt paralyzed, torn between the desire to confront Na and the fear of shattering the fragile atmosphere of the evening. As the dinner party continued, I struggled to maintain my composure, my heart heavy with the burden of knowledge. The immediate aftermath of my discovery was a whirlwind of emotions. Na, sensing my discomfort, approached me later in the evening, her expression shifting from carefree to anxious. She leaned in close, her voice barely above a whisper, as she pleaded with me to keep what I had seen a secret. "Please, don't say anything to Mickey," she implored, her eyes wide with desperation. "It's complicated, and I promise I'll explain everything later." In that moment, I felt a surge of conflicting emotions. Loyalty to my friend Mickey battled against the instinct to protect Na, who was clearly in a precarious situation. I nodded, though my heart was heavy with the weight of the secret I now carried. The laughter and joy of the dinner party felt like a distant memory, overshadowed by the reality of betrayal that loomed over us. As I watched Na retreat back into the crowd, I knew that the night had irrevocably changed, and the consequences of her actions would soon unfold, leaving a trail of heartache in their wake. When I finally made the decision to inform Mickey about Na's infidelity, I knew I was stepping into a whirlwind of emotions and consequences that would ripple through our lives. The moment I sat down with him, the weight of my choice pressed heavily on my chest. I could see the confusion in his eyes as I recounted what I had witnessed, the laughter and warmth of the dinner party, now a stark contrast to the painful truth I was revealing. Mickey's face shifted from disbelief to anger, and then to heartbreak, as the reality of Na's betrayal sank in. The air felt thick with tension, and I could almost hear the shattering of trust echoing in the silence that followed my confession. The family's reaction was immediate and intense. Mickey's parents, who had always viewed Na as a daughter, were devastated. They had invested so much love and hope into their son's relationship, and now they were grappling with feelings of betrayal themselves. The atmosphere shifted dramatically. What had once been a close-knit family dynamic began to fracture. Conversations that were once filled with laughter turned into hushed whispers and sidelong glances. I could feel the weight of their disappointment, not just in Na, but in me as well. My honesty, which I had hoped would protect Mickey, instead cast me as the bearer of bad news, the one who had disrupted their lives. As the days turned into weeks, the consequences of my decision became painfully clear. The family dynamics shifted dramatically. Mickey, consumed by his heartbreak, withdrew from everyone, including me. I had hoped that my revelation would lead to healing, but instead, it created a chasm between us. I found myself isolated, as Mickey's parents, while grateful for my honesty, also seemed to hold me partially responsible for the turmoil that ensued. They were torn between their loyalty to their son and their affection for Na, leaving me in a precarious position. I had lost my place within the family, and the warmth that once enveloped me was replaced by a chilling distance. The emotional impact of being cut off from the family was profound. I felt like an outsider in a world I had once been a part of, grappling with feelings of guilt and sorrow. I missed the laughter, the shared meals, and the sense of belonging that had defined my relationship with them. Instead, I was left with the haunting knowledge that my decision, though made with the best intentions, had led to a fracture that seemed irreparable. I often replayed the moment of my confession in my mind, questioning whether I had done the right thing or if I had merely exacerbated the pain. As Mickey navigated his heartbreak, I watched from a distance, feeling helpless and alone. The emotional toll of my choice weighed heavily on me, and I struggled with the reality that honesty, while often seen as a virtue, can also lead to devastating consequences. I longed for reconciliation, for the chance to mend the bonds that had been broken, but I knew that trust, once shattered, takes time to rebuild. The isolation I felt was a constant reminder of the complexities of loyalty and the intricate dance of relationships, leaving me to ponder the true cost of honesty in a world where love and betrayal often intertwine. In the 5 years following the fallout from revealing Na's infidelity, my life transformed in ways I had never anticipated. Initially, the emotional turmoil of losing my connection with Mickey and his family left me feeling adrift. However, as time passed, I began to channel my energy into personal growth and career advancements that would ultimately reshape my identity. I immersed myself in my work, dedicating long hours to my job in marketing, where I had always felt a spark of creativity. This commitment paid off. I earned promotions and accolades, gradually establishing myself as a respected professional in my field. The sense of accomplishment I derived from my career became a cornerstone of my newfound independence, allowing me to reclaim my sense of purpose. As I navigated this journey, I also embarked on an emotional healing process that was both challenging and enlightening. Initially, I grappled with feelings of guilt and regret, questioning whether I had made the right choice in informing Mickey. However, through therapy and self-reflection, I began to understand the complexities of family dynamics and the toxicity that had permeated my relationships. I realized that while honesty is essential, it can also expose underlying issues that had long been ignored. This revelation was liberating. I learned to recognize the patterns of dysfunction that had existed within the family, allowing me to let go of the guilt I had carried for so long. The emotional healing journey also led me to reevaluate my own values and boundaries. I discovered the importance of surrounding myself with supportive individuals who uplifted me rather than those who contributed to my feelings of inadequacy. I began to forge new friendships, connecting with people who shared my interests and aspirations. These relationships became a source of strength, reinforcing my sense of self-worth and independence. I learned that I could create a chosen family, one built on mutual respect and understanding, rather than obligation or expectation. As I embraced this newfound independence, I found myself growing more confident in my decisions and my ability to navigate life's challenges. I took risks both personally and professionally, stepping outside my comfort zone to pursue opportunities that excited me. I traveled, explored new hobbies, and even took on leadership roles at work, all of which contributed to a profound sense of self-discovery. I began to understand that my worth was not defined by my past relationships or the approval of others, but rather by my own actions and choices. Reflecting on the years that had passed, I recognized that the fallout from my decision had ultimately served as a catalyst for my growth. While the pain of losing my connection with Mickey and his family lingered, it was overshadowed by the realization that I had emerged stronger and more resilient. I had learned to prioritize my well-being and to cultivate relationships that nourished my spirit. The journey was not without its struggles, but each challenge I faced contributed to a deeper understanding of myself and the world around me. In the end, I found peace in the knowledge that I had the power to shape my own narrative, one that was rooted in independence, self-worth, and the courage to embrace my truth. Recently, I received an unexpected call from Mickey's family, a request that stirred a whirlwind of emotions within me. They were seeking my help for an upcoming court case involving Na, who had found herself in legal trouble stemming from a series of poor decisions. The family, still grappling with the fallout from the past, believed that my testimony could provide crucial context to the situation. As I listened to their plea, I felt a mix of apprehension and curiosity. It had been years since I had any meaningful contact with them, and the thought of reconnecting brought back a flood of memories, both good and painful. The circumstances surrounding their request were complex. Na's actions had led to significant consequences, not just for her but for everyone involved. Mickey's family was desperate to protect their son and salvage what remained of their fractured relationships. They believed that my perspective could shed light on Na's character and the events leading up to the fallout. However, the idea of stepping back into that world, where trust had been shattered and loyalties tested, filled me with uncertainty. I found myself grappling with an internal conflict. Should I help them, despite the hurt and betrayal I had experienced, or should I maintain my distance and protect my own emotional well-being? As I contemplated their request, I was reminded of the accusations that had been hurled at me in the past. Mickey's family had often labeled me as selfish for revealing Na's infidelity, claiming that I had disrupted their lives without considering the consequences. Those words echoed in my mind, igniting a sense of resentment that I thought I had long buried. I had acted out of loyalty to Mickey, yet their perception of my actions had painted me as the villain in their narrative. Now, as they reached out for my assistance, I couldn't help but feel a twinge of anger at their hypocrisy. They had cast me aside when it suited them, but now they were asking for my support in their time of need. In response to their request, I felt compelled to express my feelings honestly. I conveyed my reluctance to get involved, emphasizing the emotional toll that the past had taken on me. I reminded them that my decision to speak up had been rooted in a desire to protect Mickey, not to harm them. I explained that while I understood their desperation, I could not ignore the pain I had endured as a result of their actions and the subsequent fallout. My voice trembled as I articulated my boundaries, making it clear that I would not be a pawn in their attempts to rewrite the narrative of our shared history. Ultimately, the conversation left me feeling conflicted. I wanted to support Mickey, who had always been a dear friend, but I also recognized the importance of prioritizing my own mental health and well-being. The family's request for help forced me to confront the complexities of loyalty, forgiveness, and the lingering grievances that had shaped my relationship with them. As I hung up the phone, I knew that I had a difficult decision ahead of me, one that would require careful consideration of my past experiences and the potential impact on my future. The path forward was uncertain, but I was determined to navigate it with clarity and integrity, honoring both my own journey and the bonds that had once connected us all. Family relationships are often a tapestry woven with threads of love, loyalty, and shared experiences, but they can also be fraught with complexities that stem from past actions and unresolved conflicts. As I reflected on my own experiences, I began to recognize the intricate dynamics that had shaped my relationships with my family and friends, particularly in the context of sibling rivalry and parental favoritism. Growing up, I had always felt a subtle competition with my siblings, a race for approval that seemed to favor one over the others. This rivalry, while often masked by moments of camaraderie, created an undercurrent of tension that lingered beneath the surface. I found myself constantly striving to prove my worth, seeking validation from parents who, at times, appeared to have their favorites. This favoritism, whether intentional or not, fostered feelings of inadequacy and resentment, complicating our relationships and leaving scars that would take years to heal. The themes of betrayal and loyalty further complicated these familial ties. My experience with Mickey and Na's situation served as a stark reminder of how quickly trust can be shattered. When I revealed Na's infidelity, I believed I was acting out of loyalty to Mickey, yet the fallout exposed the fragility of our connections. Betrayal can take many forms, and in this case, it was not just Na's actions that caused harm. It was also the way the family responded to my honesty. Their accusations of selfishness stung deeply, as they seemed to overlook the loyalty I had shown to Mickey by speaking the truth. This experience illuminated the consequences of toxic family dynamics, where love can be conditional and loyalty is often tested. The emotional fallout from these events forced me to confront the reality that not all familial bonds are healthy, and sometimes the very people we seek to protect can become sources of pain. As I navigated the complexities of these relationships, I began to realize the importance of self-respect. I had spent years trying to fit into a mold that others had created for me, often sacrificing my own needs and desires in the process. The fallout from my decision to inform Mickey about Na was a turning point. It compelled me to reevaluate my worth and the relationships I held dear. I learned that self-respect is not merely about standing up for oneself in moments of conflict, but also about recognizing when to step back from toxic dynamics that threaten my well-being. I understood that loyalty should not come at the expense of my own mental health, and that it was essential to establish boundaries that honored my feelings and experiences. This journey of self-discovery was not easy, but it was necessary. I began to prioritize relationships that uplifted me, surrounding myself with individuals who respected my choices and valued my perspective. I learned to embrace my individuality, understanding that my worth was not contingent upon the approval of others. The complexities of family relationships, with their layers of rivalry, favoritism, betrayal, and loyalty, had taught me invaluable lessons about the importance of self-respect. As I moved forward, I carried these lessons with me, determined to cultivate connections that were rooted in mutual respect and understanding, while also honoring my own journey of healing and growth. In the end, I realized that true loyalty begins with being loyal to oneself, and that self-respect is a foundation upon which healthy relationships are built. After much contemplation, I ultimately made the difficult decision to refuse the family's request for my testimony regarding Na's legal troubles. This choice did not come lightly. It was the culmination of a long journey of self-reflection and an understanding of the complexities that had defined my relationships with Mickey and his family. As I weighed the implications of my involvement, I realized that stepping back into that world would mean reopening old wounds and potentially subjecting myself to the same toxic dynamics that had caused me so much pain in the past. I recognized that my loyalty to Mickey, while still strong, could not overshadow the need to protect my own emotional well-being. The reasoning behind my decision was rooted in a desire for self-preservation and a commitment to my own values. I had spent years navigating the aftermath of betrayal and familial conflict, and I had finally reached a point where I understood the importance of prioritizing my own mental health. By refusing to assist, I was not only asserting my boundaries, but also acknowledging that my worth was not contingent upon my willingness to serve as a pawn in their narrative. I had learned that true loyalty does not require sacrificing oneself for the sake of others, especially when those relationships are fraught with dysfunction. In the wake of my decision, I felt an overwhelming sense of empowerment. For the first time in a long while, I was standing firm in my convictions, unafraid to voice my needs and desires. This newfound strength was liberating. It marked a significant shift in my perspective on relationships and self-worth. I realized that I had the power to shape my own narrative, one that was not dictated by the expectations of others. The act of saying no was not just a rejection of their request. It was a declaration of my autonomy and a commitment to honoring my own journey. As I reflected on my choice, I also experienced a profound sense of closure. The years of emotional turmoil and conflict had taught me invaluable lessons about the nature of loyalty, trust, and the importance of self-respect. By refusing to engage in the family's request, I was finally letting go of the guilt and resentment that had lingered for so long. I understood that I could care for Mickey from a distance, supporting him in ways that did not compromise my own well-being. This realization brought me a sense of peace, allowing me to move forward without the burden of past grievances weighing me down. Standing firm in my personal convictions became a cornerstone of my identity. I learned that it was essential to advocate for myself, to recognize when a situation was no longer healthy, and to make choices that align with my values. This empowerment extended beyond my relationships with Mickey and his family. It permeated every aspect of my life, influencing my career, friendships, and self-image. I embraced the idea that I could be both compassionate and assertive, that I could care for others while also prioritizing my own needs. In the end, my decision to refuse assistance was not just about saying no. It was about reclaiming my narrative and embracing the strength that comes from standing firm in one's beliefs. I had learned that true empowerment lies in the ability to make choices that honor oneself, and that closure often comes from the courage to let go of what no longer serves us. As I moved forward, I carried this lesson with me, ready to embrace the future with confidence and clarity. As we wrap up this exploration of family dynamics, loyalty, and personal integrity, it's essential to reflect on the key takeaways from our discussion. We've delved into the complexities that arise when loyalty is tested, particularly in the context of betrayal and the impact of past actions on relationships. The story of Mickey, Na, and my own journey highlights the delicate balance between supporting loved ones and maintaining one's own emotional well-being. It's a reminder that while family bonds can be incredibly strong, they can also be fraught with challenges that require us to prioritize our own integrity and self-respect. One of the most significant points we discussed is the importance of recognizing when a relationship becomes toxic. Loyalty should not come at the expense of our mental health or self-worth. It's crucial to establish boundaries that honor our feelings and experiences, allowing us to navigate family dynamics with clarity and strength. The journey of self-discovery often involves difficult choices, such as the decision to step back from unhealthy relationships, but these choices can lead to empowerment and personal growth. We also touched on the themes of sibling rivalry and parental favoritism, which can complicate family relationships and create feelings of inadequacy. Understanding these dynamics can help us navigate our own family situations with greater empathy and awareness. Reflecting on our experiences can provide valuable insights into how we relate to one another and the patterns that may have developed over time. As you consider your own family dynamics, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on your relationships. Are there areas where you feel your loyalty is being tested? Do you find yourself sacrificing your own needs for the sake of others? It's essential to engage in this self-reflection, as it can lead to healthier interactions and a deeper understanding of what you truly value in your relationships. If you found this discussion insightful, I invite you to engage with our community. Please consider subscribing to our channel for more content that dives into the intricacies of relationships, personal growth, and emotional well-being. Your support helps us continue to create meaningful discussions that resonate with viewers like you. Don't forget to like this video and share it with friends or family who might benefit from these insights. Together, we can foster a dialogue about the importance of loyalty, integrity, and the complexities of family relationships. Thank you for joining us on this journey of exploration and reflection. Remember, the path to understanding our family dynamics is often challenging, but it can also be incredibly rewarding. By prioritizing our own integrity and self-respect, we can cultivate healthier relationships and create a supportive environment for ourselves and those we care about. Let's continue this conversation in the comments below. Share your thoughts, experiences, and any insights you've gained from your own family dynamics. We look forward to hearing from you and building a community that values open dialogue and personal growth.